It started with my 3-year-old son screaming in his room in the middle of the night. When I came to check on him, he was in hysterics, crying about how the boogeyman had frightened him. I let him sleep with my wife and I for the night. The next evening, he didn't want to sleep in his room, but I convinced him that the boogeyman was just a figment of his imagination. However, I found myself rushing to console him at 2 a.m. after being awoken by his screams once more. On the third night, I set up a camcorder in his room in order to show him that there was no monster. That evening, there was no screaming and no crying. I was refreshed when I woke up in the morning after having gotten my first good night's sleep in 3 days. Although when I saw my son, he seemed very fatigued. He didn't even put up his usual fuss when we got him ready for preschool. So when my wife took him to daycare, I decided to review the camera's tape in order to find out if he had slept. And I'll never forget what I saw. At around 2 a.m., when my son was asleep, his closet door slowly creaked open. And out of the shadows crept a pale, naked, veiny woman with long white hair, so bony that you could see her spine protruding from her back when she turned away from the camera. He tried to scream as she reached her unnaturally large hands towards him, but her palm easily enveloped his head, muffling his cries. She snatched him up with the ease that a person of her frame should not have had, and then walked back into the closet only to return an hour later with what looked like a wriggling worm the size of a duffel bag, as she placed it in my son's bed. Over the next 2 hours, I watched it twist and writhe while it grew and mutated until it looked like my baby boy. I don't know what that thing is that left my wife this morning, but I know it's not my son.